From hero to monster, this is the unbelievable transformation of Henry Cavill, the actor the world once adored as the symbol of justice, now seen in a completely different light. How did the man who brought Superman, The Witcher, Geralt of Rivia, and so many other icons to life end up surrounded by controversies, studio rejections, and veiled accusations that shook his image? Today, we're uncovering the behind-the-scenes truths many prefer to keep hidden, from internal conflicts with major directors to mysterious decisions that changed the course of his career and the rumors that cast doubt on his future in Hollywood. But before we dive into this dark and fascinating journey, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It's essential for YouTube to understand that our content deserves to reach more people, and it helps us keep bringing you stories that no one else dares to tell. If you'd like to support even more, leave a super thanks. And if you can't, drop a comment below sharing what surprised you the most about Henry Cavill. Stay with me until the end, because the final revelation about him will leave you completely stunned. As a stockbroker, while his mother, Mary Ann, was a bank secretary. Henry was the fourth of 5 brothers and grew up in a disciplined environment, surrounded by strong family values and a strict upbringing. From an early age, he showed an introspective personality, marked by natural shyness and a certain difficulty in fitting in with his peers. He was often the target of teasing for being overweight, an experience that left marks he would carry into adulthood. But instead of letting it defeat him, young Henry found an escape in books and school theater. It was on stage that he discovered something that would change his destiny, the feeling of being able to transform into someone else, to escape reality for a few moments, and to be, even briefly, the protagonist of a story. As a teenager, he dreamed of becoming a soldier, inspired by his disciplined spirit and the image of classic heroes he admired in movies and stories. This combination of ambition and determination would shape him into a man of firm character, yet deeply human. During his years at St. Michael's Preparatory School, Henry was known for his curiosity and passion for history, especially ancient wars and knightly legends, hence the perfect metaphor for his journey, the modern knight. It was during this time that he happened to cross paths with Russell Crowe, who was filming on the island, and exchanged a few words with the young Henry. That brief conversation would become a symbolic moment of motivation, a nudge from fate. Years later, Cavill would recall that encounter as one of the sparks that made him believe the impossible could happen. When he decided to pursue acting as a career, he faced resistance from his family and his own insecurities, but he never gave up. He moved to England to seek opportunities, struggling through auditions and taking small roles while living amid rejections and empty promises. However, those difficult beginnings forged his determination and built the work ethic that would define his entire career. Henry Cavill, the shy boy from Jersey, was on the verge of becoming something much greater, and although he didn't know it yet, the path toward glory and turmoil had already been set. However, Cavill's rise did not happen suddenly. It demanded patience, dedication, and a resilience that few actors could have maintained in the face of so many disappointments. After leaving Jersey for the United Kingdom in search of opportunities, he began his journey in cinema modestly, taking on small roles in productions that barely drew attention, such as his debut in Laguna, 2001. It was later, in The Count of Monte Cristo, 2002, that he began to attract curiosity, portraying the protagonist's son with a discreet yet striking presence. Still, stardom seemed far away. For several years, Cavill lived through what he himself called the era of almost. He was considered for roles that, had they worked out, could have changed his life much earlier. He was almost Edward Cullen in Twilight, almost James Bond in Casino Royale, and almost Superman in an earlier version of the film that was eventually canceled. Because of this, the press nicknamed him the unluckiest man in Hollywood. And, in a way, that title followed him until destiny finally decided to be generous, concretely in 2007 when he was cast in Showtime's The Tudors. Portraying Charles Brandon, the charismatic and ambitious Duke of Suffolk, he showed the world a rare blend of elegance, intensity, and magnetism. The series became an international success, and for the first time, Henry Cavill began to be recognized not only for his looks, but for the depth and talent he brought to his performances. From that point on, his name began circulating among major directors, and his disciplined behavior behind the scenes, punctual, respectful, and committed, reinforced his reputation as an exemplary professional. He was the kind of actor who studied every line, every gesture, immersing himself emotionally in his characters, even when the script didn't demand it. Then came the turning point. In 2011, after years of rejections and screen tests, Henry Cavill was officially announced as the new Superman in Man of Steel 2013, directed by Zack Snyder. It was a dream come true. For the first time in decades, the public would see a new face wearing the iconic symbol of hope, and that face belonged to a man who deeply understood the weight of rejection and perseverance. The film not only marked a turning point in his career, but also transformed the way the audience saw him. From a relatively unknown British actor, he became a global symbol of justice and moral strength. His portrayal brought a new dimension to the character, a more human, vulnerable Superman, torn between duty and the desire to be just an ordinary man. The success of Man of Steel turned Henry into a worldwide star, almost overnight. His presence at premieres, interviews, and international events stood out for his elegance and humility. Fans around the world saw him as an almost perfect figure, handsome, articulate, disciplined, and kind, appearing to embody Superman off-screen as well. This image led the press to call him the last gentleman of Hollywood, a title he carried naturally, always courteous, and with a classic aura that recalled the golden age of movie stars. This period also brought a wave of opportunities, roles in films like The Man from UNCLE 2015, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice 2016, and Justice League 2017, solidified his position as one of the most recognized and admired actors in the industry. However, success also brought the beginning of an invisible burden. Cavill began to be constantly compared to his characters, and any misstep off camera was magnified. The public wanted him to be Superman all the time, always perfect, always smiling, always morally impeccable. He, on the other hand, began to feel the weight of being seen as a symbol rather than a human being. In interviews, he even mentioned that fame was a dangerous game, and though he loved what he did, the pressure to embody perfection left him emotionally exhausted. Even so, Henry remained faithful to his role, believing he could redefine the concept of a hero for a new generation. His commitment to physical and mental integrity during filming also became legendary. To play Superman, he went through rigorous training, achieving an almost superhuman physique. But what impressed people most was his discipline. He didn't drink, went to bed early, and followed strict, military-style diets. He wanted to honor the character and the trust placed in him. Zack Snyder and other colleagues often described him as a true professional, someone who never complained, even under extreme pressure. This dedication turned him not only into an admired actor, but into a role model for many. Over time, however, the shine began to blur with fatigue. Henry realized that the same industry that had crowned him as a savior could also be merciless. Still, throughout much of the 2010s, he remained one of Hollywood's most beloved and respected figures. Although the public saw him as the perfect example of strength and self-confidence, the truth is that Henry's personal life has always been marked by a mix of discretion, vulnerability, and a constant battle between the desire to love and the fear of being exposed. From the beginning of his fame, he learned to protect his privacy behind an almost impenetrable wall, but that same need for protection also deeply isolated him. Henry has always been a reserved, introspective person, and the bright lights of Hollywood, with its endless judgment and speculation, became a golden cage where loneliness became his closest companion. During interviews, Cavill always maintained a polite and diplomatic tone, avoiding any mention of his love life, but rumors and headlines never gave him peace. He dated a few well-known women, and each relationship seemed to attract more attention than he ever wanted. One of his first public romances was with actress and fighter Gina Carano in 2012, an intense relationship marked by ups and downs that quietly came to an end. Many fans saw the couple as the perfect blend of strength and charisma, but Henry seemed increasingly exhausted by the public's curiosity. He once admitted in an interview that being famous is sometimes like living in a fishbowl where everyone watches, comments, and judges even the most intimate moments. In 2016, his name was once again in the spotlight when he began dating Tara King, a 19-year-old woman, while he was already in his 30s. The age difference triggered a wave of criticism and memes on social media, placing him in an uncomfortable position. Although Tara was an adult and the relationship, according to both of them, was based on respect and affection, the press and the public judged him harshly. Visibly shaken by the reaction, Cavill opened up about how people seem to forget that, behind the fame, he was also just a human being trying to find love, like anyone else. The experience left a deep mark on him and made him even more cautious about exposing his personal life. After that, Henry spent long periods without confirming any relationships, and when he did, it was always in an extremely controlled manner. In 2021, the actor surprised fans by publicly confirming his relationship with Natalie Viscuso, an entertainment executive known for her work at Legendary Entertainment. The photo he posted on Instagram, a rare gesture, showed the two playing chess at home, an apparently simple image, but one loaded with meaning. Henry wanted to show a more human and peaceful side of himself, far from the image of an untouchable superstar. Still, the relationship sparked controversy, with unfair criticism directed at his partner and fan theories about supposed professional favoritism. The actor then made one of the most sincere and emotional statements of his career on social media, asking for respect and admitting that the negativity was deeply affecting his personal life. He also confessed that the public pressure and the constant hatred had become suffocating. It was a rare outpouring that revealed how the weight of fame was no longer something he wished to carry in the same way. Beyond relationships, Henry has always been open about his need to isolate himself and recharge away from the cameras. He is a man of simple habits, who loves staying at home, caring for his dogs, especially Cal, named after Superman's Kryptonian name, and spending hours building computers, a hobby he has proudly shared. Cavill is known for being a technology enthusiast and a devoted gamer, passionate about titles like The Witcher and Total War. He has admitted that during his most difficult times, gaming helped him stay focused and escape the emotional pressure of stardom. This connection with solitude is not just about loneliness, it also seems to be his way of preserving his sanity and what remains of his privacy. Yet, there is an evident melancholy in the way he speaks about life outside the spotlight. In some interviews, Henry confessed that he misses genuine connections, saying that many people approach him for his status rather than for who he truly is. Fame creates an invisible barrier between you and the real world, he once said, and sometimes I feel like I'm watching life from the outside without actually being part of it. He acknowledges that his career has taken him to incredible places, but it has also distanced him from the simple experiences that once brought him joy. This duality between gratitude and exhaustion is a constant throughout his journey. Years of exposure, rumors, and misunderstandings have also made him more selective and introspective. Henry has come to value a very small circle of friends and family, preferring to keep his relationships far from public view. He often speaks fondly of his mother, Mary Ann, and how she has always been one of the people who kept him grounded, reminding him that fame is not the same as happiness. Over the years, Henry Cavill built a reputation as an exemplary professional, disciplined, charismatic, and respectful. However, as his fame grew, so did the expectations and the pressure to be not only an actor, but a symbol of moral perfection. Over time, that untouchable aura began to crack, revealing the complexities and contradictions of a man who, behind the hero's smile, faced silent battles against public opinion, social media, and the very industry that had once elevated him. It all began subtly with the growing media attention on his personal life. Ever since he took on the role of Superman, Cavill was placed on an almost religious pedestal, where any misstep was amplified disproportionately. The first controversies revolve around his relationships and rumors about his personality. Henry was described by colleagues as a reserved man, perfectionist, meticulous, and perhaps overly careful with his image, traits that some interpreted as coldness. He rarely attended Hollywood parties, avoided public feuds, and preferred spending his free time at home, away from the chaos. Ironically, that discreet behavior began to fuel rumors that he was arrogant or unapproachable. The public, accustomed to celebrities who share every detail of their lives on social media, found Cavill's silence strange. However, the first major wave of controversy came in 2018 during the height of the #MeToo movement when Henry gave an interview to GQ Australia. During the conversation, he discussed how the movement had changed the way men approached women and said, perhaps clumsily, that many were now afraid to flirt for fear of being misinterpreted or falsely accused. "It's very difficult," he said, "because if you court someone and she doesn't want it, you're a predator. But if you don't, you're cold." He was trying to express what he saw as a social dilemma, but the comment was taken out of context and quickly spread across social media, as if Henry were dismissing the movement or supporting inappropriate behavior. Within hours, he was accused of being insensitive and sexist, and the online backlash was fierce. The actor swiftly released a statement apologizing, explaining that his words had been misinterpreted, and reaffirming his full support for #MeToo. Even so, the damage was done. The incident left a mark on his relationship with the media. From that moment on, Henry became even more reserved, and his discomfort with interviews and public statements became evident. He had learned, in the hardest way possible, that in the digital era, even the smallest nuance can be twisted. That experience became a turning point. The real-life Superman began to be seen by some as a man out of sync with the modern world, and by others as a victim of canceled culture. But the controversies didn't stop there. In 2021, when he announced his relationship with Natalie Viscuso, an executive at Legendary Entertainment, the studio behind several of Cavill's films, the criticism returned. Fans raised suspicions of professional favoritism and even media manipulation. Social media became divided between those who supported the couple and those who claimed Henry had sold out. Exhausted, the actor took to social media to post a firm yet heartfelt message asking for respect. He said that he was happy and that the constant negativity deeply saddened him. It was a rare moment of vulnerability in which the man behind the icon revealed just how much the relentless criticism was affecting his personal life. At the same time, behind the scenes in the industry, rumors began circulating about his behavior with production teams. During the filming of The Witcher, reports surfaced claiming Cavill was difficult to work with, controlling, and overly demanding. Some anonymous sources alleged that he openly criticized the writers and demanded greater faithfulness to the original books. Others claimed he was simply too passionate about the story and wanted to protect the character from creative decisions he didn't agree with. Whatever the truth, those stories spread quickly and created a divide between fans and professionals. Henry, however, never publicly addressed these allegations, choosing to remain neutral. His refusal to align himself with specific narratives or movements kept him in an ambiguous space, admired by some, misunderstood by others. That ambiguity, in fact, is part of what makes him such a fascinating figure. He seems to represent the last vestige of an old-fashioned kind of movie star, guided more by personal principles than by marketing strategies. Amid all of this, Henry also faced the psychological impact of living under constant scrutiny. He mentioned several times that social media had become a minefield where any word or facial expression could be used against him. "The internet can be a brutal place," he once said, "and I've learned that silence is often the best answer." This decision to withdraw from constant exposure became his way of preserving his peace, even if it made him seem more distant to his fans. Looking back, the shadows surrounding Henry Cavill reveal not a villain, but man at war with the unrealistic expectations placed upon him. The actor, who was once exalted as DC's savior and a model of virtue, is now seen by many as a symbol of the fragility of fame and the depth of human complexity. He is neither the pure hero Hollywood once crafted nor the monster some have tried to portray. He is someone who has lived through the consequences of being placed on a pedestal too high to stand on. The controversies and rumors that have followed him did not destroy his career, but they only made it more human. Because in the end, perhaps what frightens people most is not the fall of a hero, but the realization that even heroes, no matter how strong they appear, bleed too. However, Cavill's journey in Hollywood has always been marked by a mix of exemplary dedication and silent clashes with the very system that made him a star. After becoming globally recognized as Superman and earning critical respect for his performance in The Witcher, the actor seemed to have achieved a rare balance between success and integrity. Yet behind the cameras, the reality was far more turbulent. Cavill began to realize that the same industry that had turned him into an icon also treated him as a replaceable piece in a game driven by political and commercial interests. His relationships with major studios started to deteriorate when he began demanding greater creative control and fighting for artistic fidelity in the projects he starred in. Henry had always declared himself a passionate fan of Andrzej Sapkowski's books, and according to close sources, he grew deeply frustrated seeing writers disregard essential elements of the story. For him, the very essence of Geralt was being distorted. While many saw him as a professional committed to authenticity, others within the production labeled him difficult and too demanding. This clash of visions eventually led to an irreparable rift, and in 2022, the actor announced his departure from the series after its third season. Outraged fans blamed Netflix for not valuing a true artist, and Cavill's name was fiercely defended across social media. Not long after, another blow followed, the end of his journey as Superman. After years of uncertainty and broken promises, Cavill enthusiastically announced his return to the role, only to learn weeks later that the new leadership at DC Studios, under James Gunn, had decided to reboot the cinematic universe and let him go. It was a moment of deep frustration and disappointment, both for him and for the millions of fans who saw him as the definitive Man of Steel. Still, Henry responded with grace, releasing a farewell message written in a calm and grateful tone, showing that even when hurt, he had not lost his composure. These two events show his departure from The Witcher and his dismissal from DC, and became a turning point in his career. He came to understand that no matter how much talent and dedication one possesses, Hollywood does not always reward loyalty or authenticity. Today, Henry Cavill represents something very different from a young actor who once dreamed of being a hero on screen. After so many ups and downs, public triumphs and setbacks, he now lives a phase of rebirth, not explosive but quiet, centered, and self-aware. Far from major controversies, Henry has built a new sense of balance, turning toward what truly gives his life meaning: peace, the projects he loves, and a life away from the constant gaze of the cameras. He now divides his time between England and long periods of seclusion, devoting himself to hobbies that reveal an authentic, human side: tabletop games, physical training, moments spent with his dog Cal, and most notably, his lifelong passion for the Warhammer 40K universe, which has become his newest and most personal professional project. Unlike the actor once shaped by Hollywood's pressure, today's Henry speaks more calmly, chooses his words carefully, and shows a more mature perspective on success. He understands that fame is fleeting and that an artist's true worth lies in consistency and sincerity rather than appearances. In recent interviews, Cavill has come across as a more introspective man, someone who has learned the importance of protecting himself, of carefully choosing the roles he accepts, and of maintaining a healthy distance from the media. His once reserved demeanor is now seen as a sign of wisdom and self-control. Far from being the monster some tabloids tried to portray, he has become an example of resilience and self-awareness. Today, Henry Cavill stands as a symbol of someone who fell, was misunderstood, but chose to rebuild himself without needing to prove anything to anyone. His silent rebirth is not just a phase in his career. It reflects a man who has understood that true strength does not lie in saving the world on screen, but in saving oneself from the weight of others' expectations.